Hi Aries, so I'm Jody with Soul Purpose Tarot, and if this is your first time stopping by, thanks, I appreciate it. If you're one of my previous subscribers, you know I was on vacation and I am running a little behind. I got back from vacation on Monday and then proceeded to make myself sick. Trying to detox my system from some certain things like dairy and carbs that I don't typically eat, and inadvertently ingested some other stuff that my body decided it didn't like. And so I've spent all week with a sinus infection and using my oils to make that go away. So I've been a little bit of a mess. And today's actually the first day that I have felt halfway decent in several days. So I almost feel like I'm back to human. But anyway, I apologize. This is going to be your November reading. And we're going to see what Aries is going through right now. And see if we can take some shape there. Normally, if you're new to my channel, normally what I do is I do 4 or 5 tarot cards to kind of give me the energy, whether it's love or life or career or whatever it is related to. And then I do clarifiers. And once we do that, then kind of go from there. Okay. All right. All right. Well, so far at the moment, it looks like Aries November reading is all about love. And the first card that came up is the 3 of Swords, which is all about heartbreak. So either you broke somebody's heart or somebody broke yours, but whatever the case is, there's some heartbreak going on. And the second card that goes along with that is the Queen of Cups, and that is a queen who is keeping her emotions to herself. So either, whatever the case is, from this broken heart, somebody was not being honest with the other person. So somebody wasn't telling the other person how they felt. This could have been you. It could have been the other person. And the breakup probably ensued because somebody wasn't telling it like it was. So however that affects you whatsoever, whether that was you that wasn't speaking your mind or whether that person wasn't speaking your mind and maybe you were the one doing that, I feel like that's what caused the breakup, was because it was very one-sided. It feels like it was very one-sided. And now you've got the 10 of Wands and you're all up in your head about a whole lot of stuff. And you're exhausted and you would like to just be done with the whole thing. But for whatever reason, you're having a hard time forgetting about the person that caused the broken heart and the reason that the broken heart got caused. So you haven't let go of that yet. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is to just kind of set all of those down and quit thinking about it. This feels like there could be... See, when I see the 6 of Cups, it always feels like there's a new beginning to a relationship, because I see this little boy and little girl and he's handing her the cup. This feels like a brand new relationship. So one of 2 things could be happening. You are ready to move on to a brand new relationship, or the relationship that caused you the broken heart, you guys need to go back and revisit that whole thing and bring it out into the open, and maybe that will cause that relationship to start all over and become a brand new relationship. I know this much. Venus is in retrograde right now in Scorpio, and that has caused a lot of relationship problems to come out into the open. So it's kind of... So if everything wasn't going that great with the relationship in the first place, Venus going into retrograde caused it to kind of go, and a volcano ensued, and whatever happened, that is getting ready to kind of all calm down, because Venus goes into Libra the middle of well, right around October 31st and November 1st. So if you, depending on when you read this, you could, this is for November, but if you watch this, this could be the very, very end of October too. So those feelings of, what word? Disingenuous keeps coming to mind. Feeling like someone was disingenuous with you. Those feelings are going to go away because just literally the change in Venus location is just going to kind of bring everything down a notch, and either you or the other person isn't going to be as angry and upset and annoyed or whatever, you know, like I said. Now see, this is the Tower card, but it's in reverse. So that tells me that the Tower moment is over by the end of, normally I do this for like the whole month of November, but and I always do one in the middle of November. So I'm thinking that by the middle of November, the Tower moment that happened, that caused the heartbreak, that you know, whatever fight that you guys got into is over. And the Tower gets you know, when it's rewrited is when it's coming down and it's in reverse. So it tells me that it's over. So whatever happened is over, and you guys are moving on, however that may be. Either you're moving on to a better relationship with each other, or you are moving on and parting ways and both going on about your business because it's the right thing to do. Whatever, I feel like the middle of November, this is all going to be rectified, and you're going to be a lot less stressed about it. You're going to feel better about the whole situation, and whatever, you know, guilt feelings or anger feelings or emotions that you had about the whole thing is going to be over. Which tells me I'm going to do the emotions, the mixed emotions, because maybe this will tell me if this is you feeling this or the other person feeling this. Well, since this is for Aries, let's see what emotions you have been feeling since you got your heart broken, or how that happened, or whatever. And I know having a broken heart sucks big time. The last time I really got my heart broken was probably 2004. And I worked with a guy that I had fallen in love with. I never told him that. And he proceeded to marry somebody else, and it destroyed me for several months because I never shared with him how I felt. And then when I did, it was too late. You know, he'd already moved on, and I spent quite a while licking my wounds about that whole situation. Man, that was a rough one. Okay, so far, Aries is feeling hopeless and disappointed. I would say you're feeling hopeless about a reconnection between the two of you, and you're disappointed at how the whole thing turned out. The only thing that I can say is make sure that you, how do I want to say this? Make sure you are accountable for what part you played in this. Don't blame the whole thing on the other person. If it went south, like it appears that it went very south, if it went south, you need to know what part you played in that. And if you don't understand what part you played in that, the same exact thing is going to happen the next time you meet somebody, and the next time, and the next time. So every time that you meet somebody, if you don't learn how you should have done things differently, you're going to continue having, this one feels like it wants to come out. This one says you're bored. uninterested, apathetic, and jaded. Well, that feels more like jaded. Of course you're jaded. You know, everybody gets jaded after a relationship goes bad, and you wonder why you even bother trying. Overwhelmed, swamped, inundated, and burdened. That goes along with the Ten of Wands. Feeling very burdened and overwhelmed by everything. But you kind of need to let that go. I mean, if you did everything that you could do, and you feel like there was absolutely nothing that you would have done differently or could have done differently, then you need to let it go. If you feel like there's anything whatsoever that you left unsaid, unfinished, or whatever, then speak up. This one says you're feeling sad. My finger's in the way. Unhappy, joyless, and dejected. Man, whoever broke your heart really rung a number on you. And the other one is encouraged in the reverse position. So you're not feeling encouraged. All right. So this is for the first half of November. But remember, I said by the middle of November, the Tower is over. So some sort of communication is going to come in. Or, I don't know if it's communicate. Nah, I take that back. It's not necessarily going to be communication. It's going to be a change in perspective. You are going to either realize that you did all you could do and you wouldn't change a thing. And you're going to be like, okay, I've done all I can do. I'm going to let it go. Or you've realized I should have done this differently. I should have done this. I should have done this. I'm going to tell them that. And if it changes things, great. And if it doesn't change anything, then I will have felt like I did absolutely everything I could have. Because until you have this cleared up in your mind, you're not going to be able to move on to anything. And it's going to consume your thoughts. And it's just, you know, kind of making you kind of miserable. So you need to clear that out somehow. Somehow, some way. I'm going to do some romance angels and see if the romance angels can tell me. How am I doing on time? 12. This is probably going to be a short one. I'm losing my voice. Like I said, I've been sick all week and hacking and coughing and sinus headaches and sinus congestion, and dairy does that to me. And it's my own fault because I drank a Starbucks sugar-free vanilla latte every day on my trip, and a large one with whole milk, and I felt great on my trip. I am so thankful that my body decided to give out on me after I got home and not while I was in the middle trying to go through those mountains. If you have never driven through the mountains, I'm telling you, that's one thing that you need to do before you die. Because going 80 miles an hour up and down mountains is like a freaking rush and I don't mean you riding with somebody, I mean you driving. I've ridden through the mountains with people before, but this is the first time I personally, except for going to Atlanta, and those mountains aren't quite as big. And this was like back and forth from all in the Southwest up through Denver. The ride from Grand Junction into Denver on Saturday morning, last Saturday morning, was like being on a roller coaster for 4 solid hours. I mean, it was amazing, breathtaking, crazy. I was exhausted when I got done. I would pull off every once in a while to take pictures, and you cannot take pictures and show what I saw on that trip. There's no way. Sorry, I digress. Anyway. Romance angels. Tell me I want to know what happened. What exactly happened with this romance that went south that has got you in such a state of upset, hopelessness, disappointed, bored, overwhelmed, sad, feeling unencouraged? And I'm sorry you feel this way. You know what? That's a sucky place to be. So that's why I'm saying, if you did absolutely everything that you could have and you wouldn't have changed a thing, then you need to get over these feelings, because when you give it your best shot, you shouldn't be feeling this way. And I feel like the only reason you feel this way is because you didn't give it your best shot. You know you didn't give it your best shot. You didn't say everything that needed to be said, and you're beating yourself up. And that's your own damn fault. So that one's what's come out. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. So if you had any red flags about that person, you ignored them, then you know what? You won't do that next time, will you? Let's get some more romance angels. What happened with that relationship? Man. Somebody was stubborn. If somebody wasn't so stubborn, these cards would be coming out. So it could have been you, could have been the other person, but somebody was being really, really stubborn. That one says, express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. I feel like that's talking to you. So I feel like you probably were the one that was holding back and not saying what needed to be said. And if that's the case, that's probably why you're feeling all of these negative emotions, is because you blew it and you know it. Romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. And let's get one more. I'm taking that one. That one's wanting to come out anyway. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So perhaps something with your family intervened in the middle of this relationship. You let something with your family cause you problems. You listened to what they said instead of how your gut felt about this person. Maybe they didn't like that person, and you listened to them, and now you're regretting listening to your family members. I don't know. I'm not sure what the family members, but, you know, family has a way of sticking their nose in places where they don't belong. Let me think. What else do I want to put with this? What am I doing on time? 18 minutes. Let's do some whispers of healing. What does the universe, have a lot to say? Let go of control. I still feel like that has to do with, if you did absolutely everything you could to keep it together, you said what you needed to say, then you need to let go of control, because it was not meant to be. You know, I mean, you can only beat a dead horse so long. And the other one says progress. So how does that fit in? Healing takes time. Healing takes time, and you're making progress. And by the middle of the month, I feel like a lot of progress is going to happen in the next week or so, because of Venus coming out of Scorpio and going into Libra season. So a lot of progress is getting ready to get made, and the feelings that you are currently having are about ready to dissipate. So I'm just going to say, when you do, like I said, I'm going to upload this today, and today is the 28th of October. So if you watch this today, there's going to be a lot of progress that happens in the next few days. So depending on when you watch this, I feel like these hopeless and disappointed and bored and sad feelings and everything are going to be going away pretty quickly, because you're going to realize you did all you could do and you're going to let go, or you're going to do what you need to do so you can close that chapter in whatever way, shape, or form. And strength. So I feel like that is saying, if you're the one that needs to step forward and say some stuff that needs to be said, it's going to take some strength, because it's going to be out of your comfort zone. And anytime you're out of your comfort zone, it will drive you crazy. When I went on my trip, I had a meltdown on Wednesday night because I was out of my comfort zone. I had planned my trip up to that point. No, Thursday nights when I had the meltdown, not Wednesday. Because on Friday I was leaving Scottsdale and I was heading to Denver, and I had never been up that way before, and especially by myself. And I mean, I had a major meltdown because I was out of my comfort zone. But I got that out of my system, and I got on my way the next day, and I was fine, you know. So you are stronger than you think. Having the hard conversations will get easier with time. But if you can't communicate how you feel, you're going to end up with this over and over and over and over again. That's all I can say, is if you cannot communicate how you really feel, if you don't look out for the red flags, if you ignore the red flags, you are continuing the same patterns that you always have, and you are going to end up 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years in the same situation that you just had. And that's not going to be fun. So this is a major, major learning lesson for you, Aries. I wouldn't want to be you, I guess, is... because it's painful. All right, last card. Well-being. You need to do this for your own well-being, because this is affecting every aspect of your life. It's affecting your work. It's affecting your sleep. It's affecting your mood. Everything about this whole situation is affecting you negatively. And so you need to get that out of your system so you can move forward. Anyway, I would love it if you would like or share or subscribe to my channel. Say hello. Give me constructive criticism. Give me positive constructive criticism. I don't care. Just say something. Let me know you're out there. And I will see everybody middle of November. Thanks. Bye.